Welcome back our another episode of Leather and Footwear Talk by Footwear Exchange. Today we have a special guest with us. We have Mr. Erik Illig, who is Managing Director of Wilhelm Textile Limited India and also board member of Indian Footwear Components Manufacturing Association. So welcome Erik in this talk.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
Erik, I start with the very basic question. I always ask this: how you come to this business? So we start with this: how you come this textile business?
Well, initially I was managing director of footwear companies for 30 years, more than 30 years, running factories of several German brands in Portugal and in Hungary. Then Wilhelm Group, which is also located in Pirmasens and now 75 years old, they were looking for a managing director for the factory in India, and they asked me if I would be interested to come to India to be responsible for all Asia. And as I was already working with India for many years, because I always had factories in India, production plants, it was a relatively easy step for me to take this challenge and move to the other side of the table, I would say, coming from the shoe industry to the textile industry, textile specific for shoes. So it's an interesting point of view. It helps also because coming from the shoe side, I know what I wanted when I was the customer, and now I'm at the other side as a technology partner, and I know what our customer would expect from us.
Good. And you were telling that you were in like 10 years in Bangladesh. I mean, you come almost every year in Bangladesh. See the changes in Bangladesh, especially when it is footwear and this allied sector. How you see the changes of Bangladesh footwear industry last 10 years?
Well, I have seen a lot of good development. The factories have improved the infrastructures, some more, some less. But you can see that the ones which have invested in better infrastructure, better production plan, you can see that they are flourishing. They are gaining more confidence from the international buyers, and they trust them and they place more orders. Still, in the head of many international buyers, you remember what happened maybe 10, 15 years ago in some textiles factories. It was very unfortunate, and if you see the feedback from the market in Germany, in my home country, in Europe, some big brands are still a little hesitant, but with the help of these industries which are investing in good conditions, it has overcome.
One that you said that there are some big company, they are hesitant. So why do you think they are hesitant?
Well, they're still hesitant because of this long past history of Bangladesh about this big factory, textile factory, which break down, where so many people lost their life. So they are hesitant to trust that this has been approved substantially. But if you go to companies like Apex or FB, you see that's a different world now compared to many years ago. And you see that they are on the right track, they're investing, they're doing things. And I think in these days today, you cannot just trust anymore on cheap labor, because there will always be someone who is cheaper than you. You have to build your customer base and your factory based on quality, and you have to be sustainable in your factory, and you have to not the old system. Okay, if I need one more employer, put one more employee. You have to rationalize your factory.
Yeah, so one thing that you rightly said, that in terms of sustainability, of course we had Rana Plaza, but that is past basically, because it was happened in 2008, and after that now if I see the lead factory of manufacturing, out of 10 top 10 8 factories from Bangladesh. So that part you should also admit that there are a lot of improvement. And you already mentioned Apex, FB, they are doing good. So for footwear factory, because as this is more on footwear thing, so for footwear factory, in terms of sustainability, what level do you think? Because you visited some factory, I believe. So what level you see in footwear factory currently, and what level they need to go to attract those big buyers that you mentioned?
Well, you need to continue the work on higher quality to improve your product. For that, of course, you need reliable, good quality raw material suppliers, and sustainability means environmental questions, worker conditions, all these things. They are working on that, you can see it, but some of the factories I see they go a little in the wrong direction. They just think we have international competition, others are cheaper, we're losing orders, so let's decrease the quality of the raw material to be cheaper. And that's a very dangerous step, because in my opinion and in my past history and in being in their side, if you go to the price and your quality goes down, sooner or later your quality is so bad that the customer will move on. So on the other side, we know quality always sells. Maybe not with this customer base which they have, but with another one. And if you have a better quality, your margins are also a little higher than if you go to a low price product.
You are board member of Indian Footwear Components Manufacturing Association. So how you see how this Indian Component Association, because you have like kind of body of those component manufacturer. So how you see they could support for Bangladesh footwear industry grow? Because I see in this exhibition, I see a lot of Indian companies exhibit their product. So how you see this, how they could help us in terms of developing this sector?
Yeah. Well, from IFCOMA, from our members, we have 25 companies exhibiting at this fair. And totally it is 80 Indian companies which are members of IFCOMA or CFI or CLE. So you see that a very strong supplier base from India is present in the market in Bangladesh. How we can help? India has a long history in footwear production, and it started very similar to Bangladesh. First with only leather, then with uppers, then it moved from uppers to full shoes, and India is still developing every day. And somehow, in some part, it has similar problems to Bangladesh, also to develop a more resilient supply chain with suppliers which are able to produce a higher quality of raw materials which you need for the higher level of products for the other markets. Somehow you see factories, customers moving out of China and looking to relocate their production, and you wonder why they are not coming to our country. They are not coming because they don't find the right quality of product, which is not necessarily the cheap one. And how the Indian suppliers, I would not say, we are not only suppliers, we are technology partners, because our advantage is we don't know, we do not only know the customer we are currently speaking with, but we also speak to the brand. We develop our product with the brand. We speak to other customers in other countries, so we know what is going on, and we know how this being, where the train is going a little bit, and what will be the future. What can be done is what some companies need to make more use out of it, is see the suppliers not as only bring me what I want, but take us as technology partners, because we have much more knowledge about our product than the customers do.
One thing you are telling, because now your association member, they're mainly producer in produce in India, and they just now kind of supporting shipping to Bangladesh.
Yeah.
So, do you see any challenge on those?
Oh yes, I do definitely. It is a challenge to ship to Bangladesh. This Benapole border is not helping at all, to say it a little politely, because if you have a truck stuck at the border for 2 weeks, this is the production time. This is a very valuable time, especially when you're in the industry like we are, where you have 6 months of life cycle of a product. In 2 seasons, spring, summer, autumn, winter. And if it is 2 weeks, 4 weeks at the border, the cost it is having, the time which is lost, sometimes production gets stuck, the loss of production the cost is so high, this needs to be avoided. And I understand that the government has this plan in only allowing payments by LCs, but there are factories where I would feel very comfortable to give them open credit, which would make all the transaction much faster. Sometimes I have the material ready, and it takes first it takes 3 weeks till the LC is open, then it takes 2 weeks at the border, and 5 weeks are gone, which is the time they normally have to produce the shoes. So this is something we should work on it. If you compare it with other countries, for example in China, from material ready till shipment on board is 2 days. In Germany it is 2.5 days. In Bangladesh it takes 2 weeks only at the border. So you see what this means for the industry.
But do you have, because I understand this, but do you see that how your association could support to invest in Bangladesh? Because there are a lot of opportunity. Bangladesh government is putting a lot of, I would say, incentive for the investors. They are seeking for FDI. So how do you see this? Why you see that other investor is not coming in Bangladesh, especially for backward linkage industry?
Well, it is not so easy to replicate or to just make a new factory if you have a running one already in India. Like in our case, we are full-fledged textile producer from yarn to knitting, weaving, finishing, coating, laminating, and so on. It takes years of experience of the workers to learn on this process. And it's not only about the investment, but it's more about the experience of the people and also about the supply chain you need to support this. So sometimes, if you have a big brother like India at your side, you don't need to invent the wheel anymore. Make a good channel to bring the products from India, which helps both. If you make a small factory here to produce it, it does not mean that the cost will decrease. Your cost will increase because the overhead is the same. And if you, let's say, you produce 10,000 or you produce 1,000, the overhead is the same, so the cost per piece will increase.
Thank you very much, Erik. It was nice to talking to you. Do you have any suggestion for this fair for the investor in Bangladesh? Anything like as your last comment?
No, the fair is very well organized, and it's great that it is happening. And I hope it keeps on growing and people keep on coming to this fair and investing. It is really worthwhile. And to the stakeholders of investment, try to make it a little more easy to invest, try to make it a little more transparent. The country has come far, but there are still some more steps to make the ease of doing business a little better. And for investors, come to this country, look in it, take your chance. It is a really interesting country, and it's growing. It's growing.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Erik.
Thank you for that.